about your amateur career. So, what age did you have your first amateur fight?
My first amateur fight, I believe, was 18, just as I turned 18.
So that was from 16, so within 2 years you had your first amateur fight.
Whereas a lot of fighters, I think, fight sooner, but I wanted to make sure that when I was ready, you know.
And was that your dad basically saying, like, you're not ready yet, you're not ready, or was that more you? Or?
No, it was just, I think at the time there wasn't as many shows, so it was just training, you know, and obviously in my head I'm thinking I'm going to be UFC champion when I'm 26, 27, so I wasn't even thinking about the amateur fights as such. And then when I turned 18, my coach at the time just started his own show, his own fight promotion, and said, do you want to fight? And literally took it on a few weeks' notice, won that, and had 5 amateur fights in total, won all of them, and then eventually went pro at 19. So I only did amateur for about a year.
So the transition from amateur to pro, tell me a little bit about that.
So in amateur we have, well now you have bigger gloves, you have 8-ounce gloves instead of 4, but at the time I was fighting in 4. Semi-pro amateur is only 3-minute rounds, whereas pro is 5. Also semi-pro you can't throw elbows, knees to the head, and there's certain submissions you can't do.
Is that hard though, when you're training, when you've been training for like, you know, last 2 years, you're doing certain moves and then suddenly you can't do it?
I see, luckily for me, the show that I was on back in the day, there wasn't actually as many rules, so I could still knee to the head. It was 4-ounce gloves, so it was kind of pro rules, but semi-pro. Also, obviously, when you're semi-pro, the record is separate to your pro record. So, you know, the idea was it's kind of apprenticeship, and then when you go pro, you know, it's to look after your record and build up to get to the UFC.
So your first pro fight, I've forgotten the name. I was watching it earlier. What was his name?
BAMMA.
Yeah. Talk to me about like the build-up, like leading up to it. You know, how did you feel? Was it like nerves? Was it excitement? I mean, this is, you know, it's going to be probably recorded and what have you.
I was confident. There's a weird one because the guy that I was fighting for my pro debut, I remember seeing him a few years back fighting on a show, thinking, I wouldn't want to fight that guy. You know, he looked the part. I was walking to the toilets and he came out with his wraps on and he had this big beard and, you know, he was looking pretty jacked, and I thought, man, that looks like a scary dude at my weight. So, you know, I was quite pumped to be fighting him. And at the time I was told his record, I think, was like 2 fights pro. And then on the day I looked it up and I saw another account saying that he's actually had 6 pro fights. So that was a little bit of a, oh shit, you know, I could be in trouble here, but, you know, I went in there, got the win and done it in TKO style.
And you have your family and friends?
Yeah, it was a local one, it was in Epsom, so, you know, I got to fill the arena out with friends and family.
What was that like, fighting in front of your friends? Is it good having them there, or was it a bit more pressure?
At the time, I'd say it's a little bit more pressure, but now I need that pressure. You know, pressure makes diamonds, and, you know, when I've got more support, more crowd there, I feel invincible now. Whereas, you know, some of the shows when there's, you know, I've travelled far away, I haven't sold as many tickets, you know, I find that I'm not firing on all cylinders. You know, I need that pressure, I need them nerves of people being there to perform the best.
So, you've had, obviously you've been in the UCMA, you think was, BAMMA. Obviously BAMMA's a relatively big organisation. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, signing for them. How did that come about?
At the time, I think it was just after I had a Cage Warriors fight. I got 2 offers, one from one promotion, one from BAMMA, and at the time my manager just said, you know, the BAMMA contract looks like it's got more potential for you fighting for a title. You know, they kind of had a plan that you fight this guy, win that, you fight this guy, fight for the title. Whereas the other promotion, you know, it was a little bit hit and miss on what was happening. But you know, BAMMA were a good promotion, but my only losses are on BAMMA, so you know, I kind of hold them to that.
I was going to ask you about that. Obviously, I feel that these days, especially boxing and certainly parts of MMA, that fighters don't want to lose the L. When you had your first loss, how did that make you feel? I mean, was it more determined? Was it, you know, alright, I've got to change stuff up and what have you?
Yeah, a loss, you learn from it. You know, when you get a win, you just come away, you got the win and that's it. when you have your first loss, you learn from it and you think, okay, I'm not as invincible as I thought. So, you know, I kind of wish that I lost when I was semi-pro. That's what I say to a lot of the guys now who fight amateur. You know, I say, if you take a loss in amateur, it's a blessing in disguise, because when you go pro, that's gone. That doesn't exist. Unfortunately, you know, I won all my semi-pro fights and my lessons came in my pro days. But, you know, until you've had that loss, you never quite have the full hunger that you get once you lose. You know, once you felt that loss and you feel that embarrassment and let down and such, you know, you don't want it happening again. So now, you know, when I come to training, I'm putting 100% in all the time so I don't get that loss again.